The Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade. How do you feel? It saddens me greatly to realize cops will not save living, breathing children from scenarios in a school, but will spend 100% of their resources to track down a woman who had an abortion. While not American, I'll be watching the aftermath unfolding with some anxiety. This flavor of insanity is often contagious. That's how I feel as a Canadian. I don't want this doctrine to spread north. I hear you too. Canada needs to ironclad codify the things like this before it's too late. I don't know if Canada will go down that path or not. We seem to be distancing ourselves from America more and more lately, but the fact remains that they influence us more than any other nation. Last month there was a lot of talk about how Canada is nowhere near as hostile to abortion as America, but that's no reason not to enshrine it properly now. Two of our biggest parties are openly in favor of abortion, but the Liberals seem to be pretty carefree about it with an attitude of, oh, it'll be fine, don't worry about it. The Tories are mostly keeping quiet, but I know my family, and if they could say it out loud like in America, they would. I don't wanna wait until they feel comfortable to oppose it. I think I'm having a panic attack. I was just told my pregnancy isn't likely to be viable at the end of last week, but there is still a heartbeat. I don't know what this is going to change for me in literally the next few days. I have an appointment at 1 to help determine if we need to terminate, but now I'm not sure what options I have. I'm so scared and angry. Depends on your state. I had an identical situation and chose to wait it out and miscarry naturally instead of having an abortion. It was hands down one of the worst decisions of my life. I had to carry a dead fetus in my body for 4 weeks while my hormones figured out the fetus had not survived. For 4 weeks I kept saying any day now, which is why I never pursued an eventual abortion. I spent months in therapy dealing with the PTSD. I'm so sorry you'll have to possibly live through that. EMDR trauma therapy is really helpful if you do have lasting trauma. Edit. If you can't have an abortion, I would recommend either going back every week to check for a heartbeat and get a D&C once there is no heartbeat. That's the $$ option, or pursuing an internationally sold Rue 486 pill. It's just the start. Clarence Thomas wrote today that contraception and gay marriage are next. The court is giving you guns, but taking away everything else. As someone with a background in history, banning everything but weapons in a nation with a large underclass that feels they have no future and nothing to lose, and already has a problem with persistent acts of terrorism is a well, let's just say, interesting move. This was my first comment regarding the Scottish decisions these last couple days. So you guys are expanding gun rights while simultaneously taking away everyone's civil rights that are widely popular? *CHUCKLES*, you're in danger. As a healthcare worker, this is going to be a fucking nightmare. I'm legitimately scared about what ends people will go to without safe options for birth control. Our healthcare system is stretched thin as is, and emergency medicine is a rubber band barely holding it together. I don't like the implications of how this can potentially break something so damn fragile, especially after the fallout of the COVID pandemic. Our current government does not believe healthcare is a right. The older I get, the more I find out that friends have had abortions, and they are for heartbreaking reasons. Yes, they are way more common than people think. Nobody enjoys talking about their abortions, but us having gone through dilation and eviction because the fetus was dead made us much more aware. Set back the entire country 50 years plus for the worst of reasons. And more to come. It's a real fucking shame is what it is. I feel the urge to leave and move to a state that aligns more with my beliefs in women's constitutional rights to abortion, or even another country if I can. I feel angry, sad, and scared. Being a woman in this country is becoming a living nightmare. I have PCOS and live in a very anti-abortion state. I want children, but I don't want to be put on trial if I miscarry, which PCOS increases the chances of happening. My husband and I have decided that we are not starting a family in Texas. When we are ready for kids, we are moving. If you think only women are affected by the abortion ban, you are wrong. Forcing babies into poverty will only increase crime rates, because children and adults of low economic status have more incentive to join gangs and commit crimes. Imagine trying to buy a house or get a job with all of the extra competition in this fucking economy. Imagine trying to have a kid with your wife, but there are medical complications which make your fetus non-viable, requiring an abortion, and she dies for no reason. People you know personally will be affected, and may die or suffer immensely as a result. This affects the entire country in a very negative way. You might think this won't affect you, because most of us never lived in a reality where abortion was banned federally. All it takes is bad luck for it to affect you. I grew up in the Bible Belt, and overturning Roe v. Wade was one of the most prominent talking points from politicians campaigning in the area. The dog caught the car. I didn't think it would happen. What will they run on now? I'm kind of afraid to find out. Thomas in his concurring opinion says the court should reconsider Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell, the rulings that now protect contraception, same-sex relationships, and same-sex marriage. Sick. My friend had 3 miscarriages this year, 2 of which required abortions for her health and future fertility. Women and babies will die. People will lose mothers, wives, girlfriends, daughters, granddaughters, the list goes on. More children will be born, only to be abused and neglected. The fallout will be more wide-ranging and insidious than we can even anticipate. I'm also violently angry. I'm genuinely confused. Are non-viable pregnancies that require abortions not gonna be legal in certain states because of this? Do they expect the mother to just die? All these folks who said that the vaccine is their choice and the government can't force them to take it because it's their body, now has to take it since the government apparently has control over their bodies. This will not stop abortions. This will stop safe abortions. Edit. Why am I getting all these replies about gun control? You say this as if they might care, lol. If you die from an unsafe abortion, it's a win/win for them. Almost like they're not truly pro-life. Just hoping the pro-lifers out there are making space in their homes for all the kids they plan on adopting. I need to bitch about this quick. Adoption should not be a multi-year process that costs tens of thousands of dollars. I'm woefully uninformed on the subject. That's messed up. Maybe fucked up to say, but I'm glad my Women's March, protesting, social justice fighting, feminist mother isn't alive to see this. These were almost verbatim what my own mother said about my grandmother 10 minutes ago. It's heartbreaking, but I agree. My very conservative grandmother hated abortions with a passion, but as a nurse she knew they were necessary. She saw what happened when young women did it themselves, because they didn't have another option. That's why she supported them, not because she believed they were moral, but because she believed it was better than the alternative. Goddamn, imagine a modern day Republican doing that. Being personally against something, but seeing the value in still allowing others to do it. I doubt this comment will be seen given that nearly 4,000 comments already made, but I'll just say that the logic used to justify this decision is honestly more worrying than the decision itself. It's bad enough that the door is open for outlawing abortion, but the logic used to justify overruling a previous Supreme Court verdict can be used to roll back nearly anything. It doesn't matter that they wrote in the decision that this logic shouldn't be used for other situations, because that's not how precedent works. They set the precedent that decisions can be rolled back if they don't conform to an arbitrary interpretation of what the Constitution originally guaranteed, and so this can be used for just about anything. They can always say, well, it makes sense this time. Not next time, but this time. We promise we won't do it again. Probably. It's no wonder that people have little confidence in the Supreme Court now. They did it to themselves. Edit. Quick edit. Since the Reddit algorithm has blessed my comment with visibility, I encourage people to reach at least the syllabus portion of the full decision text, which can be found here. https://www.supremacourt.gov/opinion/21 pdf/19-1392_6J37 PDF. It's short and lays out the reasoning behind the decision. Regardless of your feelings about the outcome, it's valuable to understand the arguments and form your own decision as to whether they make sense. Of course, the dissents are well worth a read as well. Edit 2. I feel the need to add this part because some critics seem to be misunderstanding my point. I never said that the problem is that the court overturned precedent. The court mentions Plessy v. Ferguson being overturned on the 4th goddamn page of the decision text. You think I don't realize that the Supreme Court has overturned decisions before? My point is that the logic they used here is insidious. The idea of implicit rights is foundational to many rights we currently enjoy and take for granted, such as the right to privacy. The decision here calls that very logic into question, and with it a huge number of previous rulings that can be overturned using this decision as justification. I'm a straight, white Christian man, and I'm pissed off. The only places in my book that mention abortion are how-tos. Rabbinic scholars, who know a fuck of a lot more about Old Testament law than these fundy televangelists and lawmakers do, have all agreed that life begins at breath, not conception. A man who causes a woman to miscarry is sentenced to pay a fine equal to a loss of property, not life. I'm disgusted by members of my faith who disobey both God and their nation, by mixing church and state, by giving to God what is Caesar's. It's not gonna hurt me personally, but last I checked I was told to care for those not like me, not go out of my way to make their life hell. Fuck this. Edit. This will affect me personally. I just wanted to put forward the idea that we shouldn't support human rights only when we benefit from them. Rights have their place, even when we don't benefit personally. I'm not gay, but I want my gay friend to have the right to marry who they choose. Period. Second edit. Don't give me awards for having a set of opinions. There are local women in your area who will need money to cover the cost of their out-of-state trip to get an abortion. Give to those causes. No abortion, no healthcare, no maternity leave, no affordable housing, school violence, police authorities with too much power and close to zero control and responsibility, lobbying. America feels like a premium third world. Why aren't millennial having kids? /s. Why have 3 kids and no avocado toast when I can have 3 avocado toasts and no kids? I'm feeling like religious morals and posturing have no place in government is how I feel. This will not go well. The country was founded on the belief of separation of church and state, yet we are very quickly moving into theocracy. I remember how separation of church and state was drilled into my head throughout K-12, yet it's so seemingly intertwined with our politics. The end. Thanks for watching.